Just when you thought it couldn't go any further, it did. Rick Ross tried to move on, but 50 Cent wasn't done, not even close. From legal battles to calculated humiliation, this beef went beyond music. This wasn't about bars anymore. It was about breaking a legacy. You're watching part 2 of the most personal, most brutal rap feud ever, right here on Viral Spotlight. Let's finish what got started. Almost overnight, the nickname Officer Ricky stuck, not just within hip-hop, but across the entire fan base. 50 Cent might not have been the first to uncover Ross's background in law enforcement, but he was the one who made sure the whole world knew about it. He didn't just expose it, he turned it into a punchline, one that spread far beyond rap. Over time, the narrative grew so loud that it spilled into mainstream culture, making it nearly impossible for Ross to shake off.
Ross.
Which one? The real one or
the real
fake one? Yeah.
No. The rapper
Freeway
one.
Ricky. No.
No. Yeah, the real Rick Ross. I know is the Freeway Ricky.
Yeah, that's the one you want to ask. You don't want to ask the rapper.
But what's more important than getting people like Joe Rogan to know about thestery, what the GUnit leader Real Liakived is getting? Ross to actually own up to the truth, because without that pressure, it seemed like he never ever would have done it, cause as 50 kept pressure on Ross, it became clear thought. He couldn't keep the facade up forever. So in 2014, something truly unexpected happened on the track Rich Ganga. From his album Mastermind, recorded the following bar for the first time in his career. Ross had finally admitted to the worst-kept secret in hip-hop that 50 had spent over 5 years trying to expose, and in interviews, he eventually came clean.
Most definitely refer to, me being a CO. I wouldn't change nothing. You understand? I wouldn't change nothing. Because to me, it's just about who Rose is. It's about me. When anywhere I go and I step in the room, I put it down. People know this authentic right here. They know it's real. So it was nothing that I was really just, personally threatened with. I was just ready to move on.
Okay.
Let's go get this money. And right now, to feed my family, I'll do it again.
Eventually, Ross was forced to admit what fans had already suspected. 50 had done what he set out to do. But the real question was, did the damage actually stick? Because even though the idea of a rapper having ties to law enforcement was almost unthinkable, Ross didn't exactly crash and burn. He kept making records. He stayed in the public eye. And while his image definitely took a hit, his career didn't flatline. Still, the numbers told part of the story. After dropping a line on Mastermind acknowledging the drama, Ross never returned to the #1 spot on the Billboard charts. His next project, Hood Billionaire, marked a career low in sales. For many artists, that would have been a major blow. But for Ross, it didn't completely break him. Some fans were confused by how he seemed to walk away from the chaos with barely a scratch. Hardcore rap heads knew he got exposed. One observer put it, but the average music listener, they don't care that much. Timing was everything, and Ross was lucky. The beef hit right when he was peaking musically and running things as a label head. With a strong roster behind him, Meek Mill, Wael Omarion, and anthems like BMF dominating the summer of 2010, Ross stayed in motion. Lex Luger beats the Rich Forever mixtape, the self-made compilation series. He kept dropping, kept collaborating, and stayed in rotation despite the controversy. As for 50, the win came with a cost. In 2015, he was ordered to pay $5 million to Listonia Leviston over the leaked sex tape, which forced him to file for bankruptcy. He later tried to shift the blame back to Ross, claiming Ross was responsible for the tape surfacing, and the legal battle between them hasn't fully gone away since. Ross even tried to call for peace, writing, "Although I have no ill will toward Curtis personally, I believe he truly dislikes me. But enough is enough." In the end, 50 got what he really wanted. Ross's image as a street legend took a permanent hit. These days, even Ross openly talks about his correctional officer passed on podcasts, though he still tries to reframe it as part of some bigger plan. But one thing's clear now, no matter how many hits Ross dropped, the myth of Officer Ricky never really went away.
I didn't really get to make it to the prison, because you got to go through training and all that, and I didn't last long.
Right.
I may have lasted 4 months.
Right.
Before they said,
Yeah.
I was a little tardy.
What made you want to do that?
One of my big homies had just got in trouble, and a lot of things were going on, and he just suggested it.
Even though Ross once claimed he was done with the drama, the feud hasn't exactly died out. To this day, there are still signs that it lingers, and it's obvious that MMG boss still holds on to some of those feelings. Just look at how quick he was to react when Charlemagne called 50 a diabolical genius. Ross didn't let that slide. Even years later, he couldn't resist jumping back in, proving that deep down, the wounds from that battle never fully healed.
Something else I seen that I thought was actually kind of cute. Charlemagne referred to 50 Cent as a diabolical genius. And me, thinking the way I think of Charlemagne, he would know better than that. A diabolical genius doesn't file foreclosure, doesn't file bankruptcy, it's not a diabolical genius. A diabolical genius for my next generation of young bosses. They buying Delta. They buying the Miami Heat. They making big boy moves. Cracking jokes on somebody don't make you diabolical.
But even when Ross tried to flip the script and point out 50's own flaws, all he got in return was a cold reminder. He got exposed. 50 brushed it off with a jab of his own. Officer Ricky doesn't even know what the word diabolical means. Ross may still be a successful artist and businessman, even if his momentum has slowed. But thanks to 50, there's a permanent stain on his legacy, one that started the moment he decided to go toe-to-toe with someone who lives for this kind of war. And honestly, that is pretty diabolical. If rappers take anything away from this story, it's simple. Before you come for 50 Cent, make sure there's no dark secret hiding in your past, because once he finds it, that secret won't just hurt your image. It'll define you.